Hello, first grade artists. This week, friends, we are finishing up our Pablo Picasso inspired hands and flowers. Remember, this might be an excellent gift to help celebrate Mother's Day and give to a woman in your life, such as your mother, grandmother, aunt, even your sister, cousin, if you want to. Remember, you never have to give your art as a gift, but that's just one way or one reason why we might make art, friends. Remember, there's many different ways, and one of the goals of this art project is to think about the different ways and reasons that we might make art. So let's go take a look at what art materials we need to finish up our Picasso-inspired flowers and hands. Now, you might have noticed, artists, on my table today I have some crayons that say multicultural. Today, you need a color that resembles you. And what do I mean by that? I'm going to be looking at the color of my skin, specifically on my hands, to help me with some coloring today. Because we need to add our hands to our flowers. And as always, everybody is unique and different, which means you might need a different color than me today, because my skin tone might be different than yours. Now, I know that not everybody has their exact skin color, so please just find a color that you think is the closest to your hands, okay? Now that we've gotten that, I'm going to go ahead and open up my art folder. Last week we focused on making our flowers. Today, we're going to pull out a second white sheet of paper for our hands. Now, the easiest way to draw our hands, my friends, I'm going to turn my paper sideways because I need two hands today, and I can use my own two hands to actually trace on my paper. Notice how I lined them up first, so I made sure that there is room for both. I like starting with my non-dominant hand, and I'm going to make my pencil stand straight and tall like a soldier. I don't want to have a ballerina pencil twirling and twisting around, because then my hand won't look very realistic. So I'll start down by my wrist, and again, I'm going to try my best to keep my pencil straight up and down as I go right next to my fingers, tracing around carefully. This part always tickles my fingers. Once I get done, I'll lift my hand away. Now, instead of closing my hand, I want to make some lines that come straight down to help make my hands kind of connect to my wrists. So there's my first hand. That is always the easiest one, my friends. Our second hand is a little bit more tricky because I'll have to switch my pencil to my non-dominant hand in order to trace it. Or if there is an adult or a friend nearby that can help you trace your other hand, that is another option as well, my friends. So once again, I'll put my hand down. I'll try my best to keep my pencil straight up and tall. Again, this is going to be a little tougher just because I'm using my other hand. But once again, I'll trace carefully and slowly around my second hand. Once again, I might have some oopses here or there, and that's okay, as long as I'm trying my best today. And if I make a big oops, I can always use my eraser to help erase my pencil lines. Once again, when I get down to the bottom of my hand, I'll move it away, and I'm just going to add some straight lines coming down, making it look like my wrist into my arm. So again, my second hand wasn't my best, but that's okay because I tried my best. I'm going to go ahead and set my pencil down because I'm done drawing today, and I'm going to start finding that color of crayon or colored pencil or marker that is closest to my skin tone. Again, your skin might look different than mine. So as I look at some of these different colors that some of our friends might have, I'll look at the back side of my hand as well to try and find a color that is close. Now again, there might not be an exact match, And many of us have hands that have different colors on them. But let's just focus on one color today. For instance, these two colors kind of look the closest to my skin tone. And I think this one, because it has a little bit more pink and red in it like my hands, might be the closest to me. Again, please find the color that is closest to your skin tone, not Miss Greathead's, because remember, your hand might be a different color than me, and that is beautiful, artists. Remember, everyone is unique and different, and that's what makes our world amazing. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to color in both my hands, and for this step, friends, I'm just going to speed up the video a little bit. If you need to pause the video here, that is always okay, friends. Here's how my hands turned out today. Now, if you notice, friends, I tried my best to color inside, but I did get outside of my pencil lines occasionally, and that's okay, because our next step today is going to be cutting our hands out. So when I'm finished coloring, I'll go ahead and pick up my paper. Make sure you don't cut through your flowers, and I'll start cutting on my pencil line to go around my hands. Now, once again, my friends, I'm going to go ahead and speed up this step so that way you don't have to watch me the whole time that I'm cutting. But please make sure you take your time and carefully cut out your hands so that way they do look like real hands, friends. Try to make sure that the fingers are rounded at the top, not very pointy, and try your best. So here I go. Here's my two hands now that I've cut them out. And again, I tried my best to make them look similar to mine. Now I have to decide how to put them on the paper. And if you notice, I found my thumbs, because when you're holding a bouquet, my friends, your thumbs point up. So make sure you don't have your thumbs pointing down, otherwise that might not make sense. So my thumbs are both up. I'll go ahead and lay one hand down and the other kind of on top of it. And Miss Greathead has some larger hands than you, friends, so they're going to overlap a little bit in the middle, but it's also important that they kind of fall off the edges of our paper a little bit too. So once I have them where I want them, I'll go ahead and grab my glue so I can glue them down. As always, friends, you can use glue bottle or glue stick for this part, but please make sure you get enough glue down each finger so it actually sticks to your paper well. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And the reason we want it coming off the page a little bit is so that way it looks like your hands are reaching onto the page. Now, you can either leave it like this if you want, friends, or the way that I like to do it is I like to flip my paper over and use my scissors to cut right along the edge of my white piece of paper, just to make my hands fit completely on the page. But again, you don't have to do this step if you don't want to. One way I also like to finish my artwork, and how Picasso enjoyed doing it, is by signing his name at the bottom of the picture. Again, this is totally an optional step if you want to, or you could even write a message if you do want to give this piece of art to your mom or somebody else. So here is my finished example of my Picasso-inspired flowers. Remember, artists, when you are finished with an art project, you have to turn in a photo on either Seesaw or Artsonia to show your work. I'm going to say my BYE for today, and as always, friends, have fun creating.